Welcome, everybody, to another Hive-Free celebration. Today on the call, I have Rebecca. Welcome, Rebecca.
Wrong. Hi, everyone.
So, Rebecca, why don't you tell everyone where you are in the world and where you were before you met me with the whole Hive story?
Okay. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And before I met Morel, I was just I had a flare up in the summer. And I think I found you around Christmas time, and I was still really in bad shape. I was just kind of head to toe hives, hives on my face, hives in my fingertips. Like it was really severe. And I found you in a group on Facebook, and I was still kind of not I had been advised by a doctor to go on Xolair. That was my last resort. And I went onto Facebook resistantly because I was just not wanting to accept it. I did not want to join a Facebook group because that meant I
Because that
really have
acknowledges it.
lives.
Yeah.
It's like I just was not wanting to believe they were that bad. And I I joined two groups. I found yours more looking for just advice on Xolair and like how do I get it? What's it like? And then I just kind of started seeing more about this diet stuff and tried the 7-day reboot and saw immediate like improvement within a week of 7 days.
Yeah.
In half, cut in half. So that's about where I was.
Wow,
So
amazing. Yeah, I remember, I think you reached out with regards to the 7-day clean eating challenge or plan. And you said, I'm not sure that this diet thing's going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll give it a bash.
yeah, I'd gone to an allergist to rule out any allergies, and he did blood work because I couldn't actually do like the prick test because going off antihistamines was just impossible.
Yeah.
I have to go off antihistamines. And I had none. I had no food allergies. So that's why I was like, no, it's not diet. It didn't make any sense to me. And I wasn't really correlating any flare-ups with what I ate. Like they would just happen. Sometimes they wouldn't happen. So that's why I was definitely like, nah, I don't have to do all that. Like I didn't want to do all that work. That's kind of what was going on. I'm like, no, it can't be diet because it's hard, it's hard to make the realization like that's what's doing it. And just you might have to make some big decisions. So that's kind of what else was going on. Like I was like, no, it's not diet. And it was. So it was like gluten and dairy, taking that out was immediate help. Like it was cut in half. Like I still had them, but it wasn't this.
As
It was
aggressive.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't me up.
Okay.
It was like every night 5 a.m, they would wake me up. That wasn't happening like that.
Yeah. So what were your triggers? I mean, because I think I vaguely remember you saying something like you had pressure hives as well, and anytime you went under the covers, like, so what was making your hives worse?
Yeah. I'll do backtrack a little bit. So I had hives back in the 2000s. Like I had a flare up that lasted like a year and a half, just on and off. And I never did any work on that. And I remember then like it was pressure hives and sleepy, I'd get them at night too. I never put two and two together that it was the weight of my covers and the heat you generate while you sleep. So I'd have night. So that was still going on. Like I'd wake up horrible under like bedding, and I thought it was down. It's not down. It was just the weight of the covers and like heat. I had a heated vest. I put on my heated vest once and just horrible flare up. Like it just immediately my whole neck, shoulders from heat. And then like I had to stop wearing jeans. Like I live in leggings because anything with seams will get a spot like pressure hives. But so pressure and heat would definitely the triggers. And then I have like a weird version of hives that when I'd go out exercising, like hiking, and I've had this for even when I didn't have like the big wheels, like I'd have like exercise induced hives where like if I go for a hike, just itchy, head to toe itchy. And so I was on Claritin for like 20 years on and off, like just
Wow.
taking
Yeah.
a couple days and then yeah, and then something happened. I got vaccinated, I got COVID, I got a booster, and then I had all this life stuff happening, having to move.
Mhm.
A close friend of mine passed away, work stress, just, and my father had passed away like 2 years before, and just dealing with some stressful probate stuff.
Mhm.
And that kind of just made it. I could just
Exacerbated all. Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend last year, like it just blew up. Something just
Wow. Yeah.
happened. So, it's like it's hard to, when I had that flare up, I was trying to identify what caused it, and
Yeah.
it was
There's so many moving parts there, right? Yeah.
and I was going like 1,000 miles an hour. I was just really busy and
Mhm.
eating and drinking and just kind of burning the candle a bit at both
Mhm.
ends.
Mhm.
Like that connected it. It was like wake up. My body was like wake up, but it was like heat and sadly the covers. Sleeping in bed triggered hives.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long have you been hive free now, and are you off all the medications? How long have you been off meds?
Okay, this is really exciting. It's 1 month today, 100% off all meds. And then I guess it like Hive-Free. I feel like it was maybe 2 or 3 months, like really like no welts,
Mhm.
none of the
Mhm.
big bumps, maybe some itching here and there, but not. So I feel like it's been like a couple months Hive-Free and then no meds the
No meds.
past.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you because you in the beginning when we met, you were like you say, still really in denial that food was the issue until you really took the plunge and started changing your diet, and then started noticing some changes. And then I had one masterclass, I think it was called Break the Cycle, and you were on that. And so that's when you fully made the decision. What moved you from being like, I'm not sure, to like, this is something I need?
I think watching other testimonials really kind of go, oh my God, this is possible. And just the fact that the 7-day reboot that did it, and
Mhm.
that kind of was like, I had to really sink in, like, you know what, this could be like your answer. Like, just I had said to like myself and other people, I will fly to Africa if I have to cure this. Because
Well,
it's like maybe there's some cure out there. Like I have my aunt also gets hives, and
well,
she had told me she did some crazy Chinese medicine concoction where she had to boil down all these herbs and she drank that and it went away. And I
well.
was,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're just kind of
You
so
were ready
desperate.
to do, yeah,
And I
anything.
was like, just do this. And in the fact, I think I talked to Mary,
Mhm.
and
Oh, great. Yeah.
that
Mhm.
was kind of what I was like, just do this. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna be like you have, and it'll be good for so many reasons. Like it's just,
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know, reset is always good. So yeah.
So, okay, so what was one of the main things that you took away from the program and the work that we did?
I think just the importance of like the gut health and like how kind of complex it is, and
Mhm.
just like your stomach acid, and just really that there is like it's not a mysterious thing behind it all. It's like there's actually a strategy and chemistry, and just doing that slowly. It's a slow process that you just kind of you might have to be a little patient with, and that it's doable.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the best part about the group is that you're with other folks who are going through this with you. And for me personally, it's hard for me to stick to things like this. Like I've done the whole 30, but
Mhm.
this was different. Like it just, it's a little, I don't know. I needed the group support. It really helped me.
Yeah, the accountability. And you showed up, and like kudos to you, because it wasn't easy for you. I remember being like waking up at 6:30 in the morning to have these calls, but you did it, and you made so many changes that in the beginning you were so resistant to, and I find that just amazing. Like the whole going to the clubs and having a drink at your
Yeah.
husband's show. So yeah,
I
well
mean, I
done.
had a lifestyle, and it was, living in the Bay Area, it's all restaurants and lots of nightlife. And it just was like, okay, how are you going to do this? But it, that's all it's not just making a change. It's okay. Like
Mhm.
because this was, I feel like my body was yelling at me loud and clear, like, you need to do something. Like, this is serious. Like having head to toe itching that keeps you up every night. And like, it was affecting my job. It was affecting going over to just see people. Like I had to leave a relative's house during Christmas because I got a hive on my eye, and, just sitting on an ice pack to get through the day. Like when we had to move, I had like ice packs on like I had them like secured on me because I'd get like a hive. And that's like a big, like, hi, this isn't right.
Mhm.
Like you got to do
No way to
something.
live. Yeah.
You're gonna get sicker. Like if you don't, and going on Xolair, I just thought that might fix it, but it has so many nasty side effects, and like you has cancer risk. And I just was like, the proof, I saw so much proof of your strategy, your plan with the other people you helped. So, and just
Yeah.
being in a group with other people who have this strange condition that everyone's like, what is it, flea?
Yeah. And
Is it
everyone
flea?
understands what you're going through, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the key thing, because most people they don't understand. And then
Mhm.
the more you talk to people, you're like, I get that itchy thing. So I don't know.
Wow.
It really is worth every penny. It was worth all the sacrifice. It was worth getting up at 6 a.m. It's okay. Totally. I'm so much happier and better for it. And like I have tools for when if it happens again,
Mhm.
if if I trail off, and over time,
Let's
like
go a little bit on the of
I go
course, yeah.
and I start drinking wine again and lots of pasta, what maybe is causing it. So
Mhm.
it's it's a big deal, because it just
Mhm.
was really, when you have a condition like this, you feel kind of isolated, you feel like hopeless. And just to know, like, oh no, there's a solution, don't worry, like um you can do something about it. And
Yeah. And you feel totally empowered to, to take, to make those changes if you decide that that's what you need again, right? Or
yeah, and I won't lie, like I hearing other people say that they went off antihistamines, I was like, no way. Like you just have this crutch, like, I carry them with me still when I
Mhm.
go out, I
'Cause
have them. They're like, you just are like so conditioned. And
Mhm.
but and I think I mentioned I have like itchy skin when I exercise. I don't have it anymore. I go out running, nothing happens. I don't need Claritin.
You can lie under the covers and wear your
Wear
jeans.
pajamas with a waistband. Like all these like things that you take for granted. Like, yeah, it I put on a pair of pajamas the other night. I hadn't worn since May, and I was like, oh my God, yay, no hives. So
Wow, that's so great.
really,
Yeah.
it's emotional. Like it is a bit of an emotional thing, because it's like
Mhm.
it starts to just get to you. And I think that's why a lot of people, like in that Facebook group, they're in that point right now where they're just like down, and they just want to share weird photos. Like, I get it, but it's like
Mhm.
they're still kind of not at that point where they need to. They say they're desperate, but it's like you got to really want to do it. Like, don't just take a pill. Like, try and see before you go on some gnarly medication. That just making lifestyle changes will help you in permanently. like in the future, and definitely you always have your toolbox to like to help with it. And it might help other things that you have going on. Like
Absolutely.
I also have psoriasis, you know, I'm still, the verdict's out on that. Psoriasis is really stubborn, but I know that I'm going to help prevent getting like another thing, because I know you can control immune problems. Just
yeah, you're totally supporting your body in every way that you can. And so I fully expect that, you know, the body can start rebuilding itself slowly, and even just the skin, it might start healing itself with time. And with Brittany as well, you know, her autoimmune diseases might take more time. But I think as long as we're doing the things that support the body.
Yeah. Like I definitely like, yeah, it just might take longer about it. I mean, psoriasis I'm not fully done with all the supplements. So
Yeah.
it might be like some waiting ahead, but like, the hives are really, you can't ignore them. Like psoriasis, I can ignore it, but it's like hives are like screaming louder.
They're very aggressive. Yeah, very irritating.
But I wanted to share one other thing I realized doing your program, is inflammation and the role of inflammation, and that like that's what really is going on. That's what I, as you said, like the bucket, it's like that's what really has been going on for years, and just doing whatever you can all the time to keep that down. Like I can agree to that. Like that isn't like being, you know, without your program allows a lot of different food. You can live like pretty, it's not like for me going vegan would be really difficult or something. I think there was another nutritionist who was like you to do a vegan program, and I couldn't do that. I got raw and I can't sustain that. I couldn't go you can't go, it just was very limiting. But just inflammation is really what you're addressing too. And that's, I think when you think of it that way, you'll be like, oh yeah, don't avoid that. That's going to raise, you know, avoid the foods that are going to increase that condition of making you so sensitive to everything. Because I think that's what's going on with me, is that like I was so sensitive at one point, I couldn't even like drive in a car. I was so itchy. It was just my body was so inflamed. And I think that's what the gluten and dairy did, is taking that out just took it right down.
Massively emptied your bucket for you. Yeah. And helped you heal your gut, right? So what I was just gonna ask, what are you looking forward to now that you've been hive-free and you're going to be hive-free?
Well, as I mentioned, wearing certain clothes. So being able to wear jeans. I've really made room to just do more things I like to do, like focus on my children's book. Just kind of going back to like, maybe I'm trying to think what else. I'm gonna have to cut this out. Just like for me, like the hives is just being able to go back to normal and not anticipate waking up every day with a problem, and just being at like a relative's house and like, oh, do you have an ice pack? Like just, you take that for granted, and it's just like the stress is off my shoulders. So, and I just kind of can concentrate more on the things I want to do. Like that's for me, the big thing.
The most exciting thing. Yeah.
I will say I've become an amazing gluten-free, dairy-free chef.
You are, and you've been sharing so many things in the chat, and it's great. I find that amazing, because it just shows the kind of progress that you've made from being somebody who said, I'm an English muffin girl, you know, I'm English and I love my tea and muffins in the morning. I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like, just there's always there's a whole world out there. Like I make toffee every Christmas, and I was like, oh, I can't have toffee, and there's a gluten-free, dairy-free version of toffee, and I made it and no one knew. That's what I made coffee cake, no one knew. I made a lasagna, a meat lasagna for Easter, and no one could tell. Like they said it was great. So it's like that's been like another side thing of, cooking exploration that has been really fun to do. Like you can make all kinds of stuff. Now it might be high in sugar, but at least it's not good. It's like gluten-free, dairy-free, and those like the big ones. So
yeah. So what would you say to anyone listening that is on the fence, very similar to where you were, A, not necessarily believing that food is an issue, and B, just worried that this is not within their reach?
give it a try. What do you have to lose? I mean, you have a choice. You're just going to keep living miserably and adding more chemicals to your body that are just not, they're going to cause bigger problems going forward. Like, at least just try it. For 3 months, like, or 7 days, 30 days, like, just give it a try. What do you have to lose? Like, and there's so many of us who've worked with Morel, and we're around the corner now. We're on the other side, and we're back to wearing jeans, riding bikes, and
writing books, doing the stuff that you had put on hold for so long.
Yeah, like you just kind of you're gonna get out of that headspace that you're just, I have hives. You're like, no, I don't have them. I'm better now. So I say, just don't be afraid. Keep watching these testimonials, keep talking to us who've worked with you, and you'll see, like, it's there, like the answers are there.
Yeah, well, I totally celebrate you, Rebecca. And if there are people who want to reach out to you, if you want to be available to speak to them, you would. Okay, perfect. Yeah, love that.
Thank you, Morel, for showing me the way and guiding me and everyone else on this journey. Because like I said, I was kind of in denial and like in that, I don't, sticking my toe in the water, but not jumping in. And that's normal, but it's still like, once I jumped in, like, hallelujah. Like, it's a big deal. Like, and to my relatives who have hives, like, I'm showing them that
what's possible.
You don't have to go on prednisone. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to live with this. There's the answer.
Yeah.
So,
well done. And I'm so grateful that you took the courage to jump in, because now you're proof that it does work. Yeah.
Well worth getting up. It's before 6 a.m. But I'm like, I love telling my friends and family, like, oh, I met this doctor in Zurich.
Not a doctor.
It's like, it sounds wild, but I'm just like, it is worth it. Like, thank God that you created that Facebook group and you're helping all these folks. And there's no one else doing that. Like, if you search YouTube, they just have a bunch of medical doctors telling you, like, what you already know, take a zillion antihistamines, and that's answer. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you. I really want to have a party with all of you guys. So I think we're going to have a party soon with everyone that's the Hive-Free.
Yeah, I love that idea. Smaller jeans.
Yeah. Okay, take it easy, Rebecca. So great chatting to you. Thanks so much for sharing your story.
Well, thanks so much.